To rise, the Health Ministry confirms that there are now 325 districts in the country which have still not reported any cases. Home Ministry cautions against the use of video conferencing app. Zoom calls the platform unsafe in its advisory, asks government officials to uninstall. Relief to flyers as the Ministry of Civil Aviation asks airlines to refund tickets booked during the lockdown. However, respite is not for those who booked air tickets on or before 24th of March. The BCCI finally suspends the IPL indefinitely due to the coronavirus. Board to continue to monitor the situation, but no date is given for a potential restart of the IPL later this year. And the United States records over 2,500 coronavirus deaths once again in 24 hours. It's the heaviest death toll in any country. Overall fatalities in the US now cross 28,000, highest in the world. But let's start as always by telling you the big numbers. Where does India stand today in their fight against coronavirus purely in terms of numbers? The overall India numbers, total number of cases 12,759, deaths are 420. In the last 24 hours, the number of new cases 941, just a tad under 1,000. Remember, last 3 days, the cases had been over 1,000. Deaths 37. The worst hit states remain the same. Maharashtra, total cases 2,919, deaths 187. Delhi, total cases 1,578, deaths 32. Tamil Nadu, total cases 1,242, deaths 14. This is as of April 16 at 8:30 p.m. I'm going to be joined today by very key guests. Dr. Raman Ganga-Khedkar is the Deputy Director of ICMR. This is the nodal body that's fighting this battle, and he's going to be joining me shortly. I'm also going to be joined by Dr. S.K. Sareen, Chairman of the Delhi government's panel on COVID-19. Dr. Arjun Sengupta is President, West Bengal Doctors Forum. Dr. Tanmay Mohapatra is one of the country's leading epidemiologists. And I'm going to focus today right at the top on the issue of testing. Remember, the one issue which not just Rahul Gandhi, the Congress MP, raised today in his press conference, but virtually every expert is saying, is India testing enough? There are over 12,000 coronavirus positive cases in India, and the government has tested a little over 2,17,000 patients. Today, Rahul Gandhi questioned that strategy, saying that India needed to test more. The ICMR, though, and the government insists that they are following global testing protocol. What really is the truth of testing is my top story tonight.
अगर आप कोविड से लड़ना चाहते हैं, बिना टेस्टिंग एट स्केल आप लड़ ही नहीं सकते। आपको यही नहीं मालूम होगा कहां है बीमारी, कहां है। मान लो आपने एक हॉटस्पॉट एरियाज बना दिए और नॉन हॉटस्पॉट एरियाज बना दिए। अगर आप नॉन हॉटस्पॉट एरियाज में टेस्ट ही नहीं कर पा रहे तो आपको मालूम ही नहीं कि वो हॉटस्पॉट कब हो जाएगा। तो अगर आप एक ग्रेजुएटेड स्ट्रेटजी चाहते हैं तो आपको टेस्टिंग की तो जरूरत ही है, क्रिटिकल है।
Rahul Gandhi holds his first press conference since the coronavirus outbreak. The former Congress president stressing he was not there to target the government. Called for more testing while responding to a question by the India Today reporter. According to the ICMR, India has tested about 203 people per million population as of 15th April. In all, over 2.5 lakh people have been tested across the country. The government has strongly defended its testing strategy, saying India's testing rate is comparable to global standards and is actually better in several parameters.
जापान में एक आदमी पॉजिटिव पाने के लिए उनको वो 11.7 लोगों की टेस्ट करते हैं। हमारे देश में हम तकरीबन 24 टेस्ट कर रहे हैं एक आदमी पॉजिटिव पाने के लिए।
It is not about absolute number of testing which will be our defining criteria. What is important कि हमारे containment measures linked with testing overall हमारे को क्या output दे रहे हैं। तो उसके तहत में आप ये समझे, जैसे कि इससे पहले अभी highlight किया गया है कि हमारे यहाँ जो भी defined criteria है वो particular sample का criteria उसके तहत सब लोग टेस्ट हों।
A closer look at the data shows there is huge disparity in testing. While states in Kerala, Rajasthan, Maharashtra have done the maximum number of tests, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar are conducting far fewer tests. India has got 6.5 lakh testing kits from China, and more such kits are on their way from Korea. With the country entering a critical phase in its battle against the coronavirus, the focus is clearly on testing and increased containment. With Maushmi Singh, Bureau Report, India Today.
The big questions then tonight. Is India really testing enough? Is our testing strategy flawed or is it effective? Are some states under testing? Is there a huge divergence, let's say, between a Bengal and a Maharashtra, for example? Is it time to ramp up testing further? Right through this show, we'll be putting up hard numbers for you to make sense of why testing is so critical. I'm joined by special guests. Joining me now, Dr. Raman Ganga Khedkar will join me in a moment, Deputy Director ICMR. I'm also joined by Dr. S.K. Sareen. He's Chairman of the Delhi Government's panel on COVID-19. Dr. Arjun Das Gupta is President of the West Bengal Doctors Forum, and Dr. Tanmay Mohapatra is an epidemiologist. Thank you all very much for joining me. I'm going to come to you, Dr. Sareen, first, because when I look at the numbers, the variation is so stark. Delhi, which you're heading, is testing 897 per million. You've done about 16,600 plus tests. On the other hand, Bengal has tested just 35 per million, only 3,470 tests. When I look at certain states, Maharashtra has tested 50,000, while Bihar has only tested 8,800. How do you explain this? Is this something that should trouble us, this wide, sharp variations within India when it comes to testing?
Rajdeep, you are, as always, the data is so impeccable and so good. I don't have access to all that data, but I want you, and through you, the people to understand what is the test. It's not a blood test. Firstly, if there is an area like a hotspot and others, you send somebody for testing, the people are scared. They never come out. They don't want to be stigmatized, marginalized, discriminated. It's a test where you put something which has a swab in the nose. So even if you have a team of 4 or 5 people, they will collect 50 to 100 swabs from an area in a day. While blood tests, you can do thousands. So you require to do, let's say, 5,000 tests. You will require at least 100 teams to collect that area. So just understand that it is not the laboratory, it is not merely the reagents, it's also the collection and people's participation to get tested. The third thing remains once the test comes. There are people, you test them, you take the swab to a lab. So everyone needs to participate. Now once you have the lab, we have the capability. I think Delhi and I'm sure many parts of India, they have RNA labs and it's a specialized test. So the number of tests, according to me, that we can do or ramp up are sufficiently enough. But we have to understand these tests have a limitation. A negative test does not mean the person is negative because positivity from a swab is just 60% or so. If you take it on day 2, it may be negative. If you take it day 5, it will be positive. Maybe day 7 better still when the virus is shedding.
So are you telling me, doctor, are you telling me, doctor,
person, let's say
sorry to trouble you, are you telling me that, it has nothing to do with testing kits? Because until now, one of the theories that was being advocated is a lack of testing kits. I'm going to play in a moment what the Bengal Finance Minister, Dr. Amit Mitra, had told me on this.
I'm just coming.
Yes.
Just
Go
coming
ahead.
to it in a minute. The
Yes.
kit part is the one where you have the extraction kits, the DNA automated extractors. They are definitely, we need more. But the kits for which everybody is looking for is the antibody test, which is like a rapid test. And that's a blood test. A blood test, the moment we get the Indian companies to make, and I think some are likely to come from China, that you can then, it is a yes-no test. The antibody test done in a proper manner can be done in thousands. So I think India, and especially Delhi, the numbers are reasonable. We are doing well. What Dr. Gangadhar said that yes, we are testing more and getting less positive also means we have to relook sometimes at our strategies. We have to look out the areas which are more likely to give us results, may not be symptomatic patients. You know, one has to understand there is an asymptomatic, why US has more deaths or why other countries have more deaths, because people were asymptomatic, they were living together, every day giving multiple times the virus exposure. If I go to like a doctor, I go to a symptomatic patient, I'll be there for maybe a minute or two. I have all PEP, so my exposure is very short. But if I'm living with somebody who is positive, day in and day out for 5 days, he has no symptoms, but he transmits virus several times a day. So therefore, the strategy should be that high-risk people, those who are contacts, they must come out, get tested. They must voluntarily test me because I have to save my colleague, my wife, my friends. So that strategy of who should be tested, how you should come out is required. As long as we are only doing the nasal testing, we have to increase the teams, the viral test media, transport to the labs. The labs, I think, and I must say ICMR has done a commendable job. Dr. Balram, Dr. Nivedita, Gangadhar, they have all done excellent jobs. They have done primers, they have provided everyone support. So I think we are okay as far as the viral testing is concerned. What we need is people's participation, more teams to get the samples. And I
Right.
think we are okay as far as I think so.
Okay, I'm going to come to two parts of it because when I look at numbers, and I'm going to focus, Dr. Mahapatra, on numbers, you're an epidemiologist, so you can tell us how the numbers work. When I look at tests conducted when 10,000 cases hit, India doesn't look too bad. We did 2,17,554 tests when we hit the 10,000 mark. The US only did 1,39,878. UK did 1,13,777. Italy did 73,154. This is when they hit 10,000 cases. But when I look at tests per million, as of April 15, we've done 203, and the UK has done 4,645, US has done 9,988, Italy did 18,225, South Korea did 10,200, China 3,068. We've just done 203 per million. So which figure should I take? Should I look at the number of tests we've conducted when we've touched 10,000, or should we be looking at tests per million, sir? Which is it? Which is the more accurate figure to look at, Dr. Mahapatra?
Only looking at test per million will not give us the actual picture because it's not the number. It's actually at which stage of the epidemic which is being tested and which type of tests are being conducted. Tests are not one type. We have RT-PCR test, we have rapid antibody test, and it's not like we test, it's kind of one or no, kind of yes or no kind of situation. So the testing strategy needs to be applied based on the epidemic scenario. Number two, the capacity of the whole system to respond to the test positives, how to deal with them, as well as to deal with the asymptomatics, how we are understanding the epidemic and taking them through. So when the number is touching to a certain level, say 10,000, we need to see what was that period of testing time. That is a better indicator. But the question that is India testing enough needs to be changed a little bit. The question will be, alone testing, will it be enough? No, we need to have a proper surveillance system attached with the testing so that we can test the right person at the right time to link with the right treatment strategy. And the whole strategy needs to be placed in a way so that we can respond to a tomorrow about which we don't know what is going to happen. In a disease where 80% of cases are going to be either asymptomatic or subclinical or kind of mild symptomatic, we need to be prepared also if there is an upsurge which we may not already have found in our data and
Right.
it comes tomorrow, we need to be ready about that.
Okay,
When we are talking about
So you're
testing,
saying just don't look at the numbers per se, don't look at them in abstract. You've got to see at what stage we are, and thereby you ramp up testing over a period of time. Am I correct?
Yes. And also how closely and how well it is connected with the surveillance system. Are we finding out the right person to be tested at right point? And I believe states differing so far because that surveillance system are not equally in place across all the states.
And that's what I want to come to, because I want to come to what I call the COVID testing top 4 and the COVID testing laggards. Delhi, Rajasthan, Kerala and Maharashtra are India's top 4 states when it comes to COVID testing. Those are the top 4 on your screen. The laggards are West Bengal, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. I want to come to you there, Dr. Dasgupta, but before I come to you, I want to play what Amit Mitra, the West Bengal finance minister, told me when I asked him this specific question. Why is Bengal not testing more? Listen in to what Amit Mitra told me to that critical question that why are certain states like Bengal not testing more? This was his answer.
I think this is absolutely wrong. I'll give you one example how we are facing problems. We have ordered, our health department, 5 lakh PPEs, private protection equipment. 5 lakhs. Do you know how many you've got? 3,000. This is from HLL of Government of India, HLL Life Science. We have ordered for 6 lakh masks. How many have we got? Have not got? Over 4.5 lakhs we have not got. Testing, yes, we have begun testing. As you know, testing kits in India are not available to the extent you are speaking of. Now, private sector has been asked free of cost, the labs, to provide testing. We already have 6 testing centers. We are expanding those into many private sectors. As testing goes up, we can give you data. We are fudging nothing. We have nothing to hide. And we are fully cooperating with the Government of India. This is a misnomer. This is a canard being spread against West Bengal.
You're calling it a canard being spread against Bengal. This was Dr. Mitra speaking to me a few days ago. Now, Dr. Dasgupta, you respond because you are the president of the West Bengal Doctors Forum and you seem to suggest yesterday when one of our reporters interviewed you that Bengal is not reporting the truth and Bengal is not testing enough. Dr. Mitra says, look, we want to test more. We don't have enough testing kits. What's the truth?
Me as a president of West Bengal Doctors Forum, one of the largest body of doctors from West Bengal, I don't want to go into the politics of the center state, how many kits, how many. We want the tests number to go up. And this is our earnest plea both to the center and the ICMR and the central government for the test number to go up. Now, from the last week compared to today, I don't know today's number, the test number has gone up. We are walking in the right direction, but we have miles to go because we have what I can represent is something on the ground. So you need to really reassure the doctors, the juniors on the ground, they are on the front line. And we have seen, we are getting reports from the NHS where the health minister is saying that they will test the whole of the healthcare population, the healthcare workers. So we need something like that. We need to teach, we need to test each and every of the doctors, the nurses, and the technicians, because not only for ourselves, we will become a source of infection. Because again, from the NHS, we have all seen a study which have seen that all the doctors and the healthcare workers tested, 1/3 of them became positive. And we are at this lockdown period, we are acting as a source of infection. We are going to see patients without knowing that we have got asymptomatic COVID, and I am going to spread it to 100 more people. So it's very, very vital. The healthcare workers are tested, the doctors are tested, the nurses are tested, the technicians are tested, and the test number needs to go up. Because we have seen from the international standards, the countries which have done well has tested well. The South Korean example, the Vietnamese example, we have seen them. The Vietnam as a country of the size of West Bengal has done 1,75,000 tests, and they have 0 mortality. And these have shown, the Kerala model has shown that these testing gives us results. The test numbers needs to go up.
We take the test numbers should go up. Is it now, therefore, Dr. Sareen, about quality of testing or quantity of testing? The ICMR has announced that the introduction of the rapid antibody testing for COVID-19. How is that? There are those who say this rapid testing is all very well, but it will not provide you quality testing. Do you believe that the real challenge is to improve the quality of the testing and not the quantity of testing? You have to have focused testing in hot zones, in hotspot zones, not necessarily just do random testing, rapid testing, and just say we've got a lot of numbers. Is there a Kerala model that we can follow? Is there a Bhilwara model which looks at containment along with testing that we can follow? Or what you did in Delhi in Dilshad Garden? Is there an ideal model?
Well, As I said earlier also, the RNA testing is more reliable, more sensitive, but difficult. And we cannot take it everywhere. What you require are two things, and we need to understand. One is an area which is in a containment, let's say hotspot. People will not come out. We have to go and do point of care testing. You go there, soothe them, give the test, and get it done then and there. And that facility will be available as long as we get the antibody tests available, which are very easy to do. You can do thousands, lakhs, millions, and that should start in a short while. So one is point of care testing, and Indian companies have also come up that you go, give a cartridge, give your blood, and you get a test done. So simple. This test is very difficult. The second part, who should be tested? I do agree that people who are in close contacts, that is, there is a positive patient, their family members, the doctors and nurses should be. But we can't do for the whole population. That's not possible for us and should not be aimed. Totally 4 to 5% right now. And how will the epidemic go away? Currently, the reproduction number means one person infects 2, 1% infects 5. The China was 1% is infecting 2.8. But India's population density is very high. You can infect, one person can infect 6, like in a small masjid or in a small town, collected people. The epidemic will die when instead of 1, you infect 0.5. The Australian model is beautiful. 10 people who are positive infect 5 people. Means I am gradually not infecting many more. To find that number that you are infecting less people, we will have to have a testing done. We have to ramp up our facilities for blood testing. This testing, whatever you may do, cannot reach that level. Now, blood test is very easy. It is very cheap, and I am sure we would be able to have this blood test. But it has two caveats. The blood test has an IgM, immunoglobulin M, and an IgG, which is another type of antibody. If one person gets infected today, the virus will start coming in second and third day and will continue for many days till 21. IgM test will come, let's say around 7 days, and it will start declining by day 21. So what is the advantage of that test? I go and do a test in a hotspot area and I find 20 people are IgM positive. Oh, they just got recently infected. But I find 20 other people who are IgG positive. Oh, they were infected 4 weeks, 6 weeks ago. Now they have recovered. In fact, they are good enough, strong enough to go back to work. So the advantage of blood test and a good antibody test is this. However, they are not very specific. They could also be positive with SARS virus. So currently, it's in just 1 or 2 months people have started making these antibody tests, and therefore the quality, the specificity should be relied. But we have nothing better. We have to do it. So blood test, antibody test will come and they will solve our problem to a large extent. But till then, you have to do the swab test.
Dr. Mohapatra,
And
one of the challenges is the
just one small point.
Yes, go ahead, Dr. Sareen.
Yeah, one also small point is we have to have, like what South Korea did was develop small kiosk. Kiosk is an area where you don't have an identity, you just drive in, get your swab done and drive away. Or an area where people are not saying, look, here is a guy who is COVID positive. Don't go into that colony, don't go into that particular building. So we need a discrete area. You ask the people why private labs are not getting blood samples or nasal swab samples, because people are scared. So we have to give the people the confidence, look, you are infected doesn't mean you are bad. You have done something like HIV, wrong thing. Please go to an area which is discreet, area number 1, 2, 3.
So you're saying don't do the testing in a COVID hospital.
Small ambulance or
You're saying the testing
yes, exactly.
should not be done in a COVID hospital. It should be done outside the COVID hospital. Preferably, you're saying create small kiosks. That's one way to do it. I know that Kerala is doing that. I know Delhi is doing that. I just want
in the hotspot.
Okay. I just want to come on this hotspot thing for a moment to you, Dr. Mohapatra, because We now have 170 districts in this country which are seen as hotspots. We also have more than 320 districts in the country where there is no COVID cases reported. How are we to look at this? Are we therefore to focus our entire testing energies in the next 2 weeks only on these 170 hotspots? Should we forget about 320 districts in the country, or is there the real possibility that in the next 15 days it could spread from hotspots to non-hotspot zones? How do you see, where should our testing focus?
Today's silent areas are tomorrow's hotspots. So it will be a blunder to focus only on those identified as hotspots and forgetting about those where we are not seeing cases. There can be different strategies, just like in the hotspot areas, we can have our trace, test, and then isolate that policy to be more stringent on cases where we are finding symptoms positive. But on the other hand, the places where we are not finding cases, we need to have some random way of testing the asymptomatics to come up with some estimation of rate of infection or spread in those areas also. Because if we are not seeing cases in those particular districts, that means probably those are the places where we are going to see very soon and maybe tomorrow.
And at 30. Okay, I want to come to you therefore, Dr. Dasgupta. What has been your experience in Bengal when you have raised this demand for greater testing? I just want to understand. Why are the citizens of Bengal not raising their voice? You're raising your voice. Why don't I see greater citizen protests saying that, look, we want to see more testing. We want not to be seen as a state which is under testing?
We have raised this voice. These are technical issues, and we have pleaded to the state government to increase the number of the tests. We have pleading to the ICMR to let a lot of private labs and the other labs to increase. There is only 5 labs right now which are going to test, to reduce the number, the time taken for testing, the bureaucracy surrounding the testing, and the number of testing. Now the numbers have gone up, as we can see of today. We don't know today's, we know from yesterday the numbers have gone up. Now we are, again, what I'm saying is we are walking in the right direction, but the numbers should go up much more. Now it's up to the general public, because we have provided them the information for them to demand the test, because we can't be in the lockdown forever. And as everybody is quite correctly pointing out, is we need to test. We are hearing from the media that India has got a grand plan of testing 1 lakh tests per day. And that will produce, that will give some confidence in the healthcare workers.
You're saying when we reach 1 lakh tests per day, healthcare workers will get confidence. It will change the entire way we approach COVID-19.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's an important point. I just want to ask my guest to press the pause button. I want to now show you all a story, because I want Dr. Sareen in particular to respond to this. Remember, there's been a big coronavirus scare in the heart of the national capital, and this could happen anywhere in the country after a pizza delivery boy tested positive. The delivery boy came in contact with 72 families, had been delivering food for the last 20 days. His co-workers and the people he made deliveries to are now in quarantine. Look, take a look.
The national capital is in a tizzy after a pizza delivery boy tested positive for coronavirus. The delivery boy, employed at a restaurant in South Delhi's Malviya Nagar, was tested on April the 14th after showing symptoms.
3-4 दिन पहले की बात है, हमें एक पिज़्ज़ा डिलीवरी बॉय जो है वो उसका रिजल्ट आया हमारे पास, और वो पॉजिटिव पाया गया. करीब 1 महीने पहले इसको फर्स्ट सिम्टम आए थे 20 मार्च के अराउंड, और 5 अप्रैल के आसपास इसको फीवर ख़त्म हो गया था. अभी एक्टिव डिजीज़ इसके पास केवल कफ की पड़ी हुई है. तो ये राजीव गांधी सुपर स्पेशलिटी हॉस्पिटल में इसको एडमिट किया हुआ.
The delivery boy's test results have sparked big concern from the health department. He had delivered food to 72 homes over the past few days. Now all of those homes are in quarantine.
उसके साथ जितने 17 लोग थे, जो उसके साथ जितने भी काम करने वाले को वर्कर्स थे, सबको इंस्टीट्यूशनल क्वारंटाइन दिल्ली सरकार के क्वारंटाइन सेंटर में क्वारंटाइन किया गया है. और साथ ही साथ जो 72 लोगों को उन्होंने डिलीवरी दी थी, उन सबको होम क्वारंटाइन कर दिया गया है.
Zomato says some of the orders for the restaurant where the infected delivery boy worked were routed through it. The food delivery company added it is not sure if the person was infected at the time of delivery. It has, however, assured customers on its efforts on safe delivery. Pizza chain Domino's, which is not the affected restaurant, says it is taking precautions to make all its deliveries safe. Shops and houses in and around the restaurant where the delivery boy is working are being disinfected.
Public area क्योंकि मदर डेयरी यहाँ है, market पास में है, plus hospital very close by, so every day this road is being sanitized. But now this delivery boy has come positive, so we have made the houses also sanitized.
पहली तो उनको ये ऑर्डर होना चाहिए कि घर में ना आए, बाहर से डिलीवर करें. दूसरा, वो अगर टेस्टेड हैं तो बहुत ही अच्छा है, उनके पास एक आईडी टाइप का कुछ होना चाहिए कि आई एम कोरोना टेस्टेड. ये इसमें 2-3 दिन के अंदर ये मैनेज हो जाएगा. उनको डबल रैप में ले जाना चाहिए कोई भी डिलीवरी हो, और एक रैप को उन्होंने अपने हाथ से छूना है और अंदर वाला रैप जो है वो कस्टमर को देना है. ये बेस्ट प्रिवेंशन है इसका. कोई भी चीज़ घर में आ रही है.
The delivery boy's infection has renewed fears among people who had resumed ordering food online. Food delivery apps now face a fresh challenge of winning back the trust of customers. With Ashutosh and Chirag in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, Dr. Sareen, as the person who's leading this campaign against COVID-19 in Delhi, I want to understand this. You have focused on what you call a containment plan. What happens in this case of the pizza delivery boy? He's got into contact with a number of people over 20 days. Are you now going to ensure extensive contact tracing, active search for cases in these containment zones, testing all suspect cases and high-risk contacts? Is that how now, along with just testing, you're going to have to do tracing and you're going to have to make it a containment zone wherever this pizza delivery boy went? How easy or difficult will that be?
See, we have to realize that these were very transitory, very short exposure of the pizza boy to somebody. The high-risk contact is one who is living or is in close contact for a longish period. If we start doing like this, it will become a huge challenge. We understand people's worry, we understand that we have to test it, but he would have gone to several hundred people. So it is advisable to keep all these people under a watch, but to test everybody, it will be impossible. You know how many people he has done. So my suggestion would be that, yes,
so are you saying you test only high contact?
People should be advised.
Are you telling me that you only test high-risk contacts?
No,
is that
I'm not saying.
Is that the way forward? Test high-risk contacts?
No, currently, like he was working in an area where, like say in the hotel or wherever, the shop, that all of them should be done. But if he has gone and delivered from a distance or something, my advice is that people should not be so scared that they would get, I mean, they should be contained, they should be advised to get a test done, but do not have that scare or fear all your life. Otherwise, you won't be able to sleep and you will never be able to eat pizza. But second part is, let's say this was not a pizza boy, it was a hospital. There is a wing where a doctor or a nurse is found positive. You immediately seal that area, you immediately close that wing area. But if that is the way we are going to do in a hospital situation, we will be closing all hospitals, all shops, all pizza. So we have to define in a given area the type of exposure and the type of test to be done quickly.
Right.
And that will require some time. So one single positive person who has gone and delivered pizza cannot infect several thousand unless we find out this guy was infective at that time, he was febrile. If he was symptomatic, would he be able to drive his bike? Probably not. Maybe he had recovered. So first we must know what was the status when he was delivering and reassure people. Of course, as a policy, we must definitely track everybody. As a policy, everyone must be advised to be in self-quarantine. We must advise if they develop symptoms, definitely get tested. And if possibility of blood test, everybody should be screened.
Okay, let's leave it there because
so my advice would be similar will be for the hospitals.
I take your point, Dr. Sareen. We've run out of time, but I think
similarly for hospitals.
We've got it right. I think what you've said is that there is going to have to be not just testing, but it's going to have to be targeted testing. It's going to have to be testing that's done along with tracing. Dr. Mahapatra, Dr. Dasgupta, Dr. Sareen, thank you so much for shedding light on this contentious, controversial issue of testing. That's been our top focus today. Let me turn from there to a state which again is falling off the map really. It's a state which has a shocking statistic today. It doesn't have a health minister. Its health secretary and health department is under quarantine. It doesn't even have a cabinet. Madhya Pradesh is perhaps the black hole at the moment in India's battle against coronavirus. A state where, remember, there was much political turmoil last month where the Congress government was toppled by the BJP. And Indore, a city which was seen as a symbol of Swachh Bharat, has ironically become Madhya Pradesh's coronavirus capital with the highest number of cases from COVID-19. Bureaucrats in Bhopal account for nearly 40% of the cases of the city. What's gone wrong with Madhya Pradesh's corona battle? It's our Get Real India story tonight.
Madhya Pradesh on the brink. Top state health officials steering the fight against COVID-19 are themselves bearing the brunt, either testing positive or being quarantined. From Principal Secretary Health Pallavi Jain Govil to Managing Director of the Health Corporation J. Vijay Kumar. Till April the 15th, out of 162 COVID-19 patients in Bhopal, 80 are from the state government's health department alone, accounting for nearly 40% of cases. With no health minister, Chief Minister Chauhan is himself looking after the fight back, but is facing opposition heat.
एक औसत फैसला किया पार्टी ने कि फिलहाल इस लड़ाई को जीतना है। मंत्रिमंडल का विस्तार फिर थोड़े दिनों के बाद करेंगे। अब 14 तारीख को लॉकडाउन समाप्त नहीं होगा, एक चरण समाप्त होगा। आगे जैसी परिस्थितियां बनेगी पार्टी के साथ विचार विमर्श करके फैसला करेंगे।
ये शायद मध्य प्रदेश एक ही प्रदेश है पूरे विश्व में जहां ना तो स्वास्थ्य मंत्री है ना तो गृह मंत्री है। स्वास्थ्य विभाग के कर्मचारियों का सबसे अधिक कोरोना पॉजिटिव निकला है।
Indore, which is India's cleanest city, has now the highest number of infected cases from coronavirus in the state. With nearly 700 cases and 39 deaths, the city has seen one of the highest mortality rates.
जो सर्वेक्षण टीम जो कि कंटेनमेंट एरियाज में घूम रही है, इनके द्वारा 45,000 तक का अभी तक टोटल सर्वे कर लिया जा चुका है और इंदौर प्रशासन पूरी तरह से तैयार है यदि किसी भी तरह के मरीज बढ़ते हैं।
The city, which has seen 2 doctors' deaths and healthcare workers, still remain vulnerable.
अगर 4 स्टाफ हैं तो बोलते 2 लोग किट पहनो, 2 लोग बाहर का काम करो। तो जो अंदर जा रहा है स्टाफ वो इन्फेक्टेड होके बाहर आकर दूसरों को तो इन्फेक्ट कर ही रहा है। उनको आप किट नहीं दे रहे हो। 8 स्टाफ ड्यूटी पर हैं, किट आप 2 रख के जा रहे हो।
Indore has 105 hotspots and is still witnessing cases linked to the Tablighi Jamaat. At least 4 people out of 13 quarantined in a mosque were found positive on Wednesday.
जितने भी लोग जो तबलीगी जमात के जो लोग थे उनके हमने सैंपलिंग कर दी है। अब उन लोगों की सैंपलिंग तो उनकी रिपोर्ट थोड़ी करके आ रही है।
How long before the city tames the corona curve? With Hemendra Sharma in Bhopal, Bureau Report, India Today.
Madhya Pradesh, India's black hole at the moment in the fight against coronavirus. Let's take a break. When we return, we're going to turn to the other big question. We've discussed the epidemic. What about the ecodemic? Where is the much touted package for small and micro industries? When is that coming? On a day when the finance minister meets the prime minister, we'll be looking at that. We'll be joined by Ratin Roy in a moment from now. He will tell us what is needed to get India's economy back on track. Back in a moment.
Mega E-Conclave Corona Series. Pulitzer Prize winner, doctor and author Siddharth Mukherjee exclusive. The author of Emperor of All Maladies and the Gene and Intimate History. Live from COVID-19 epicenter, New York City. Biography of a pandemic. April 17, 7:30 p.m. Watch live on India Today TV and India Today app.
Presented by Kalyan Jewellers. Trust is everything.
Isolating us from the world. When we see people working out of their homes, spending time with their families, trust me, I'd love to do the same. And then I realized we all have bigger responsibilities. My son, who's a junior doctor, is spending his hours in hospital 24/7. I have to report about coronavirus and other important events every evening. Bigger family is the viewer, the people of India who have trusted us to be a credible news source in these difficult times. If I can come to office every day to give you accurate information, that's my responsibility. Can you do something for me too? Stay at home, stay safe, that's your responsibility. Collectively, we can win this war against coronavirus.
वही वीडियो देखो जो आए बिना ब्रेक के, बिना ब्रेक वाला वीडियो बोले सबसे हार्ड।
देख बिना ब्रेक, अभी डाउनलोड करें तक ऐप।
रुक रुक के ना देख, 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 रुक रुक के
देख बिना ब्रेक, अभी डाउनलोड करें तक ऐप।
महामारी के इस माहौल में हाथ तो सैनिटाइज कर लेंगे, लेकिन जानकारी को कैसे सैनिटाइज करेंगे? इस दौर में आप तक आने वाली हर खबर अगर सही हो तो वो जानकारी है, लेकिन अगर गलत हो तो जानलेवा हो सकती है। कोरोना वायरस पर आने वाली हर खबर होगी सबसे सटीक खबर। जब देश की लड़ाई कोरोना वायरस से हो तो देश का भरोसा सिर्फ आज तक पर हो। तो बैक टू
Let's turn to the other big story today. The finance minister met Prime Minister Narendra Modi amidst expectations that a major economic package for industry will be announced soon. Remember, the small and micro industries in particular are bleeding hard and are seeking desperate and immediate assistance. There has been no production in many of them for the last month. It's our other special report tonight.
The MSME sector, which is seen as the backbone of the economy and accounts for a little under half of the nation's manufacturing output, is choking. Lack of labor,